Hey everyone! Just wanted to pop in really fast to tell you a bit about what I'm drawing and about the products that were in the November ArtSnacks box. Lately I've been building more and more on a concept for a story I've had for quite some time. The girl in this tiny piece is one of my characters from that story. Her name is Millie, and she's joined by her companion Bob the corn snake. It's starting to get cold where I live, and I have snow on the brain. I love the idea of these two characters strolling through the snow, but of course no matter how big his heart and how magical his bones, Bob is cold-blooded. So the idea of a reverse scarf came to me, and I thought it was too cute to ignore. Of course, most people with snakes walk around with them around their necks, but the idea of Millie showing Bob her little town by wearing him as a scarf to keep him warm? Just darling. The colors I had to work with in this month's box weren't terribly challenging. I actually really love this color combination. But the pink led me to Millie immediately, since that sort of blushed coral tone is fairly on point with how I've always envisioned her. And Bob is fine being colorless for the evening, I'm sure. He tends to sport a range of colors in the story, so a night off can't be that bad. As for the materials provided in this box, I definitely have my favorites, but I thought it was a good mix. The Tombow markers aren't super exciting, but they're nice. I feel the same way about the acrylic marker. Doesn't thrill my soul, but they're really handy to have, and I'm glad I got to try them this way. Pencils are something that show up a lot in these boxes, and usually I'm not moved by them, but this Grafwood pencil is really fantastic. It's a little thicker than your typical graphite pencil, and it makes a difference in how sturdy it feels. I was pleasantly surprised by how well it worked for this little sketchy piece. The two stars of the box, in my opinion, are the liquid chrome marker and the YUPO paper. First, the YUPO paper. This stuff is weird. It's really sleek but also soft. It almost feels a little like silicone, nearly powdery in a way. Because of that strange texture though, it grabs onto the pigment really well. My favorite thing by far to use on it were pencils of all things. They slip right across the paper and the colors build really well. I honestly think the most fun I had was sketching with my color erase pencil before the video. It has some difficulties when it comes to laying color beyond pencils though. Since it's so slick when you're layering, sometimes that bottom layer will move and create a streak. But because it's so slick, it's also fairly forgiving and you can start over if you need to. That said, this stuff boasts to be tree-free and everlasting, and that gives me confusing, crunchy feelings. On one hand, it's good to go treeless, but on a more important hand, it's not so great to make something everlasting. While I did really love working with this stuff, I doubt I'll end up buying more for that reason. As for the liquid chrome marker, I know it said chrome on it in pretty bold letters, but I was really happy and surprised by the truth of that title. This stuff is chrome! It's not messing around and give you some shimmery silver metallic. You can see a reflection in this stuff, and it flows really nicely across the page. I could see someone complaining about the nib size, since it has a tendency to make some streaks if you're not paying attention since it's so little, but it's perfect for my purposes. Currently, I use a gilding paint to sign my pieces. I just love the reflection of it and how shiny and gold. I think it manages to somehow be less obvious than the black or white I used to use. However, the gilding stuff is really difficult to use on the go, and this is a perfect replacement. If they have any other colors or finishes, I'm buying them immediately. Speaking of finishes, if you're going to be working with YUPO paper or acrylic or really any paint of any kind, I would recommend sealing in your work with a finishing spray. I like the ones by Krylon for what it's worth. This will just ensure that it's not going to slip and slide around. You'll also want to give it some time to settle before touching it. In any case, that's pretty much all I have to say about the November 2017 ArtSnacks subscription box. Overall, I was really happy with this one. Definitely found a new holy grail product with that chrome marker. If you love trying new products and haven't signed up before, I would recommend checking ArtSnacks out. Sadly, I don't have a personal promo code to share, but I know they offer several through their official channel, and I'll look around and see what I can do for future unboxings. Now I shall leave you in peace. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all later.